First, there was man. He was alone trying to find something to eat, somewhere to sleep, fighting for his surviving all the time. Then other men came along and they formed groups, staying together because it was easier and safer to do things together. But their needs grew bigger and somebody had to make the decision, so they chose a leader. Sometimes it was the oldest and wiser, and sometimes it was the strongest or the richest. Sometimes it was good because they had a fair leader who wanted the common good, but sometimes it was bad because the leader wasn't fair and all he wanted was himself to be glorious and rich. And because it was not always easy to be glorious and rich by doing all the good things, they had cases of corruption, conspiracy, and injustice, and murders and wars. And rich people became richer and poor people became poorer, something that still happens in our days and in our communities.
And their communities grew bigger and bigger, and they started fighting the other groups. First for food, then for land, later for riches. And the human life was not worth a penny. They were slaves and occupied lands and poor people who had to pay taxes to the ruler of the territory. Nobody knew or imagined then that all people are equal and they have the same rights, that women are just like men, as intelligent and as capable of doing things. Time passed and they created forms of governing themselves, and throughout the history of mankind, people have searched for fair ways of being governed, but that has not always been easy. They had kings and queens, they had tyrants and dictators, emperors and generals, and in the 5th century BC, in ancient Greece they discovered democracy. Today we are going to present you some forms of government, good or bad, though it is not easy to say which is which, because as you know, people are just people and they are not perfect. The term dictator is comparable to, but not synonymous with, the ancient concept of a tyrant. Initially, tyrant, like dictator, did not carry negative connotations.
A military dictatorship, also known as a military junta, is a form of government different from civilian dictatorship for a number of reasons. Their motivation for seizing power, the institutions through which they organize their rule, and the ways in which they leave power.
In socialism, everybody would have free access to the goods and services designed to directly meet their needs, and there need to be no system of payment for the work that each individual contributes to producing them.
Communism is the idea that everyone in a given society receives equal shares of the benefits derived from labor.
Nazism, or National Socialism, is a set of political beliefs associated with the Nazi Party of Germany.
Fascism is a form of radical authoritarian nationalism that came to prominence in early 20th century Europe, influenced by national syndicalism.
A monarchy is a form of government in which a group, usually a family called the dynasty, embodies the country's national identity, and one of its members, called the monarch, rules the country.
Democracy was originally conceived in classical Greece, whereby political representatives were chosen by lot from amongst the male citizens, rich and poor.
Things that weaken our rights in a democracy.
Extreme parties,
Corrupted politicians and officials.
illegal businesses,
Not paying your fair share of taxes.
too many taxes,
Racism.
inequality,
Unemployment.
crime,
No enforcement of law.
no social security.
Not enough money spent for education and healthcare.
As George Orwell wrote in his book, Animal Farm, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.